If you've been playing Roblox as long as I have, you would know that egg hunts have been a sought-after tradition since 2008. Roblox would host an event for the entire community to go and grab some eggs to put on their heads. It was great. But then, 2015 came along, with what many at the time considered to be the worst egg hunt ever, and now spelled the beginning of the end for egg hunts entirely. Was it really as bad as people thought? Find out today in The Legacy of Roblox Egg Hunt 2015. First off, let's address the elephant in the room here. Roblox Egg Hunt 2015 was not a great egg hunt. Some may consider it the worst. But compared to Egg Hunts 2019 and 2020, which had the same formula, it was pretty playable and somewhat resembled an egg hunt. Roblox, for some reason, thought it would be a good idea to spread the eggs across 3 different games by 3 different developers, which resulted in the egg hunt being rather disorganized and feel just like another random sponsored event, and not the yearly tradition that is the egg hunt. Now, did I like it at the time? Yes. But was I also 10 years old back in 2015? Also yes. I played that egg hunt so much back then that I got almost every egg compared to the measly 4 or 5 that I got back in 2014. The only ones I missed being a few in Twisted Murderer and the elusive admin egg. Looking back on this egg hunt as my present-day 16-year-old self, it wasn't really that bad. People acted like it was the end of the world when it was just plain old mediocre. Now, I can't really speak on the egg hunt without actually playing it again, as it's been 6 years since they closed its doors. So lucky for me, just while I was getting the script together, the group Egg Hunt 2015 Rebooted released their remake of the game. If it weren't for them, this video might not have actually came to be in the first place. I will definitely link their game in the description, so you can always check out these fine people's work yourself. Before we get into each game, I'd like to talk about the eggs. First of all, there were no Fabergés. From what I understand, this was the only egg hunt since 2010 to not have any Fabergé eggs. Second of all, yeah, the eggs were pretty ugly. They weren't perfect by any means. Their textures were kinda low resolution, and the ideas for the eggs were a little meh. That's not to say there weren't any good eggs, though. I especially like these ones you see on screen now, but overall the eggs weren't perfect. The eggs were a solid 5 out of 10. Now that we got them out of the way, let's get on to the games. I'll start out with the worst of the batch, Twisted Murderer. I really don't have much to say about Twisted Murderer. It was boring and unfun. One of the eggs here that I particularly liked was the one that you had to win a round of Murderer Madness to get. I think it was called the Mad Egg. Sadly, I wasn't able to get it because I was generally unskilled in every way. There was another one with a wacky and uncharacteristic objective, the Fabulous Egg. This one you had to play PewDiePie's song Fabulous on a radio to remove the bubble around the egg so that you could grab it. Almost every other egg in the game dropped when a specific role died, such as the Egg of Innocence, which had a small chance of dropping from an innocent. One that I tried hard to get was the Phantom of the Egg, which had a 1 in 25 chance of dropping when somebody died in the theater map. I'm pretty sure this was the game that I got the hipster Egg of Retro in. Supposedly you needed to wear the red baseball cap in order to get it, but I still got it even though I never even owned the red baseball cap. The only way that I could think of is it worked with the ninja hat that I used to always wear, but I'm not sure. For the life of me, I can't think of anything else interesting to put in this segment, so rather than dragging it on, I'll just move on to Ritpole's minigames. Ritpole's minigames was actually kind of fun and felt more or less at place in the egg hunt. Though there was a lot of walking around and not enough eggs to make it feel whole, it at least quenched my thirst for an open world section of the egg hunt. There were some fun and difficult objectives, but most of them involved you walking around and looking for something to do something else with, or just plain waiting. An example I specifically remember is this egg, which you had to find a crown sitting around somewhere and go give it to the egg, which I believe was on a hill or something. nothing. This took me a while to get, either because I was incredibly stupid or because it just wouldn't spawn. I don't remember. Another weird egg here is the cloud egg, which you could see me trying to get here. I don't remember how I did it, but the wiki says, quote, players had to get on top of the minigame arena in the lobby by jumping on the yellow bouncy pad on top of the tower of pads and collect the egg before it quickly teleported to another area on top of the minigame arena. If that really was the case, then a big round of applause to 10-year-old Willie for somehow figuring all that out and getting the egg without access to YouTube tutorials. Though this game's challenges don't hold up very well. They were okay at the time, and I sure enjoyed them, although that may have been because I was 10 years old and didn't understand good mechanics, so take what I say with a grain of salt. A few eggs in this game were also available in Super Bomb Survival and Twisted Murderer, such as the sharing egg of gifting, the bird egg, or the race car egg. However, the lightning egg of thunder and the beehive egg were only available in Ritpol's minigames in Super Bomb Survival, but not Twisted Murderer. Just a fun fact there. Now that this is out of the way, let's move on to the third and final game, Super Bomb Survival. Super Bomb Survival was actually very fun, maybe just because it's a fun game in general. Apparently I played it for the first time for this egg hunt, as can be seen by the time I got these badges. Scrolling down more, I guess I have a lot of badges from here just from doing this egg hunt. Back on topic, in Super Bomb Survival, you had to play the game and do the egg objectives while bombs rained down. It actually kind of felt like the old egg drops. But you don't want to hear about the gameplay, you want to hear about the egg objectives. Well, sadly, there really weren't any egg objectives. They just kind of fell from the sky. There's the coin egg, which comes out of coin bags. There's the last egg standing, which has a very low chance of spawning in the last 30 seconds of the round. There's the super bomb egg, which you had to grab before it exploded. There's the Eggmageddon, which occasionally spawned when a nuke exploded. And the teleporting egg that you had to grab before it teleported away from you. And that's every egg that exclusively spawns in this game. Every single other egg in this game can be found in the other two games. Super Bomb Survival is fun, but the eggs are very easy to get. It really seems like every game in this egg hunt is greatly flawed in one way or another. Now that I'm done talking about the games, let's see what went wrong here. So, of course, this egg hunt kinda sucked. It was incredibly flawed and could have been done so much better if they just had a little more coordination. First of all, Twisted Murderer was boring and the eggs were hard to get. Second, Ritpol's minigames had way too much walking and not enough eggs. And finally, Super Bomb Survival's eggs had pretty much the same objective. What went wrong here? The answer is pretty obvious. The formula of spreading eggs across multiple games just doesn't work for egg hunts. A perfect example of this formula working its finest is the Ready Player 1 and Ready Player 2 events. I personally loved these events. They felt like an ARG where the entire Roblox community united for a common goal, getting a bunch of decent hats. But of course, this formula doesn't work for everything, and in this case, the egg hunts. At that time, egg hunts had become more or less the same since 2012, and people loved it. Then Roblox suddenly decided to change their tried-and-true method and spread the eggs across 3 completely different games. Don't get me wrong, trying new things is good, but it really didn't work out this time. It would have been fine if they only did it once, but nope, they went and did it 2 more times in 2019 and 2020. It looks like they're doing it again this year as well. Will we ever have another good egg hunt? Probably not, but hey, that's life, I guess. What are you gonna do? Overall, this was not a good egg hunt, but Egg Hunt 2015's real damage wouldn't come for another 4 years with Egg Hunts 2019 and 2020. With all this into account, I believe it's fair to give Egg Hunt 2015 the shockingly low score of 3 out of 10. There were some good elements, don't get me wrong, but overall this egg hunt was garbage. Not hot garbage, maybe just lightly toasted garbage. Thanks for watching my video. If you want, you could like and subscribe, and it'll give me a small rush of serotonin when I notice that one or both of my arbitrary clout numbers have gone up by 1. And with that, I'm off. Goodbye.